Hi everybody, it's Tony Codispati from Great Vocal Majority YouTube channel and website along with the podcast. And today I want to talk a little bit about this testimony that James Comey gave before the Senate panel. To begin with, when Comey confirmed what Trump has been saying for weeks, that he told Donald Trump 3 separate times that he was not under investigation, the media kind of sort of glossed over that and said, oh, okay, now that we're done with that, and then they just moved to the next thing that they could hammer Trump on. But that's important because there was more to what Comey was asked by Trump, and it is kind of being ignored, and it shouldn't be because it's important. And I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Trump said that he went to see Comey, or he met with Comey on 3 separate occasions where he asked him whether he was under investigation. And Comey all 3 times said no. But more than that, what Trump was concerned about were all these leaks and rumors and innuendo that were coming out saying that Trump was under a criminal investigation. So what Trump wanted from Comey was A, to confirm that he was not under investigation, and B, to make that a known public fact so that he could put to rest all the rumors. And Comey refused, not once, not twice, 3 times. 3 times. 3 strikes, you're out.
You're out!
You're fired. That's what happened. It's clear that's what happened. Because let's look back at the context of all of this. What was Trump mostly plagued by in the early days, in the very early days, and even prior to being inaugurated? What was he plagued by? Leaks. Constant leaks. And once he was president, he was plagued tremendously by leaks from the intelligence community, which includes the FBI. Now, that brings me to another point. And the point is this. Comey was an Obama holdover. And Comey was suspected of being a leaker. And today we learned in his testimony that Comey was in fact a leaker.
And finally, did you show copies of your memos to anyone outside of the Department of Justice?
Yes.
Which is one of the reasons why Donald Trump, when he had the meeting with him and asked him for loyalty, what was Trump looking for? You think Trump is looking for loyalty to Trump? I know people who want to think the worst of Trump will say that. But if you're Donald Trump, and you have somebody who came from the previous administration working for you, and you know a lot of the leaks are coming from people who worked for the previous administration that are still working for you, what is the one thing you want from that person? You want loyalty. Now, you don't want loyalty in spite of the law. You want loyalty that you're not going to release things in a leak that are just have the only purpose, their only object is to make it more and more difficult for you to govern and lead the country. That's where Donald Trump was going. Now, a lot of people watching me now are going to say, oh, you're just, you're giving it a more positive, reading, and it may not be. I'm willing to concede that may be true. But what I'm trying to go for here is balance, because what's going on in the media is absolutely ridiculous.
Tomorrow, James Comey's testimony, blockbuster or boring?
Let's get ready to rumble!
What's expected to be blockbuster testimony.
Blockbuster hearings.
And it could be a blockbuster testimony.
For what is sure to be blockbuster testimony. Blockbuster testimony.
The blockbuster everybody's waiting for.
Blockbuster testimony.
I think it's going to be one of the most explosive moments of the Trump presidency.
Quite explosive. Explosive testimony that
Really could be explosive.
Explosive moment.
Explosive.
the explosive testimony.
The explosive hearing is set for next Thursday.
The most explosive and dramatic congressional testimony in a generation. Could be explosive. We just don't know what he's going to say.
This has the potential to be extraordinary, even explosive testimony.
I think it's going to be explosive.
Consider it the mother of all pre-games, the warm-up act to the most anticipated congressional testimony in decades.
It's almost become, it sounds like something out of the O.J. Simpson trial, honestly.
I mean, this is a huge event, the Comey testimony.
I mean, this is a huge moment in Washington.
I mean, this is a potential earthquake here.
They're calling his testimony the Super Bowl.
So this is sort of the political Super Bowl.
At that kind of Super Bowl of hearings.
And we liken it to a political Super Bowl.
It's becoming something of a mini Super Bowl here in Washington.
That some around Washington are describing as a political Super Bowl of sorts.
That some are already calling the Thursday testimony like the Super Bowl.
A day that some people are calling like a Super Bowl Thursday.
It's not balanced at all. They're not looking at it in the context. Now, let me just add one or two other things. The week before he left office, Barack Obama changed the rules in terms of classified information sharing and the identities of people when Americans are swept up in those signals, intelligence, surveillance kind of activities that the government engages in. And that, by loosening up those rules, he mushroomed the number of people who have access to information and could therefore leak it. While that's going on, that's a week before he leaves office. Then Trump gets sworn in. And while that's going on, the hundreds and hundreds of people that the Senate have to confirm in order to be replaced. Remember, Trump took something like over 100 days to get his cabinet officers confirmed by the Senate. But it's way more than that the Senate has to do. The Senate has to confirm literally hundreds of positions. And so they were slowing that down too. In the meantime, all of these Obama holdovers, like James Comey, are in positions of authority. And they have access now to signals intelligence information that they can leak to the media and not have to reveal themselves because they're an anonymous source. That was deliberate by Obama, a deliberate undermining of the incoming administration. And that was, by the way, in the New York Times on Inauguration Day. Look it up. Another article was written in the Washington Post, I think about 3 weeks into President Trump's term in office, or maybe even less than that, where the federal agency workers, some of whom were Obama holdovers, but many of whom were just, permanent civil service types, were meeting with and strategizing with, in government and out of government, Obama officials, along with the Organizing for Action, Obama's campaign organization, to deliberately try to sabotage Trump's agenda. That was in the Washington Post, of all places. Okay? So now roll all of that together. Roll it all together. And you tell me what you think that means. To me, it means that Trump is a one-man gang against a swamp. And it really is a swamp. You have Obama holdovers in the government. You've got the Obama campaign organization and former Obama administration officials conspiring with federal government workers to sabotage the agenda in all different agencies. You've got James Comey admitting today that he was a leaker. You've got James Comey refusing to tell the public that Trump was not under investigation. You have so many things like that. Now, look, Robert Mueller is conducting an investigation regarding Russian interference in the election. Maybe it occurred, maybe it didn't. It obviously doesn't appear to have affected the outcome of the election. Nevertheless, he's investigating that, and he should, and I'm glad he's doing it. We'll see how that turns out. But for people now to suggest that Comey, did something spectacular today, no. To me, Comey ruined his reputation. He was a leaker, and he leaked to try to get somebody like Mueller appointed as an independent counsel. He was part of the group that was undermining this president.
So I asked a friend of mine to share the content of the memo with a reporter. Didn't do it myself for a variety of reasons, but I asked him to because I thought that might prompt the appointment of a special counsel.
Now, look, President Trump won the election. He won it fair and square. A lot of people still have not come to terms with that. But they're going to have to come to terms with it because he is the president. And unless there's some kind of a bombshell hiding somewhere else, he's going to be the president for the next 4 and probably 8 years. So get used to it. Tony Cadaspati from Great Vocal Majority. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'd appreciate it. Thanks. Take care, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.